So, um, Woman King is coming out in theaters, or it's out now, I believe. And I did get a chance to go see it the other day. And I was able to, um, really enjoy myself with it. So, in case you didn't know, this basically is based off of the Dahomey tribe and the Agoji, uh, basically the female warriors that are dealing with other tribes, right? And they're also dealing with other issues in terms of, like, let's just say, other moral issues, right? And because they're dealing with these type of things, um, they are going to go kind of like on a journey, um, which will not only affect the individual characters but also affect the country in itself and the direction that they take. So the film takes place during the 1823. So that's an important date. We'll talk about that later. But I do kind of want to talk about, like, the good things that I like, the bad things, etc., etc. So first of all, like, if you're walking into the Woman King, within the first, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, this thing sets the tone early. Like, they not playing with you. They like, look, we bought that action and we bought that blood, we bought that violence, and they kick it off straight up from the jump. So you get a very early sense of the tone and the pacing of what this whole movie is about. Then I think the biggest highlight is definitely going to be the performances from, like, damn near all the actors, right? So there's no question. I don't think anybody's gonna question this. Yo, Viola Davis, like, we don't even have to ask, you don't have to question nothing. Viola Davis is going to bring it as an actress, as an actor. You know that she is going to kill it. And you know what? She does. She absolutely does a phenomenal job in this film, the whole way through. And like, every time she's on screen, like, you're feeling for her, you're following what's going on with her character. But here's the crazy thing: she's not really, like, the main character. I mean, obviously she is, but she shares the screen. Like, it's almost like a co-star, and I hope I pronounced this right, with Thuso Mbido. Oh, sorry.
My name is Tusombedu.
I apologize if I butchered that. I think she was also in Underground, which was another great show to check out. But she was very, very solid. And the fact that she was able to, like, just kind of be on the same screen with Viola Davis, like, in some very tough and difficult scenes, was really, really good to see. She was really, really good in this. John Boyega, fantastic. I was so impressed with everybody, by the way. I was so impressed with, like, just how well they nailed their the African accents, and the mannerisms, and all these it's the little things that they really got, that they did right, and that were so good throughout the film. There's another guy, he's the villain, Jimmy Odokuya, I think his name is. Yo, my man is like, he's a general, he's an evil guy. You don't like him. And you know what? That's when you know you're doing a good job as an actor, when people just straight up don't like you. So he did a fantastic job, but my goodness, the one who almost stole the whole show, might have, was Lashana Lynch. My goodness, this woman right here was killing it. She is probably the most engaging character in the whole movie. Like, every time she's on there, you're either, like, amazed by her, you're laughing with her, you're crying with her. Like, she had the best supporting role in this movie, and she does not disappoint. This scene right here, I mean, it was in the trailer. She going up against another dude, and it's a test of strength and will. Listen, when she get hype, you get hype. Okay, when she up there, you up there. I'm like, yo, I'll go to war with her. So listen, she absolutely nails it, kills it. But that also brings me to the other thing: is the fight scenes are done so well. They're so good. The fight choreography was done extremely effectively. I mean, when they go to war, and it is graphic. This is graphic. It is bloody. So, if you kind of got that weak stomach, it ain't really for you, but like, I would say that they did this in a very tasteful way, where the fight scenes are brutal, but at the same time, they're not like over the top or whatever, right? But my goodness, the intensity is there, and it's definitely going to keep you locked in. It's going to keep you engaged whenever things are about to go down. But here's the other thing. While this movie was like, it was about that action, it was about that, the violence and the war and stuff like that. And clearly these women are nothing to play with. It also takes the time to balance it out with like good drama. Like the characters have really good intense scenes that are pretty dramatic. And I would say that, like, I don't know, like they get really emotional and stuff as well. And I'm not gonna lie, there was maybe a couple scenes, that I was sitting there like, okay, they talking about some like difficult subject matter. It's some difficult stuff that they talking about. And I'm not gonna lie to you, your boy I shed a thug tear. There was like one or two, not a lot, but you got a little dusty in there.
It's enough to make a grown man cry. But not this man. Get back in there, tear.
But I'm gonna hold it together. I'm gonna hold it together. So either way, the emotion, the action was very, very good. Now, I will say this though. The one thing I would say as a bad was that a lot of things in this movie are kind of predictable. There are things that are foreshadowed very early. There are things that, like, I don't know, if you're like a wrestling fan, it's almost like you already know, okay, this is the setup. This is where we're going. We're eventually going to get there. We get it. We got it. The reason why this isn't like a major bad thing is because even when you get to that point that you already foresaw, that was very predictable early in the movie, it's still good. It's still entertaining. So that's one thing that I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's predictable. Yeah, I can see where y'all going. Yeah, the writing is kind of basic sometimes, but damn it, the performances are so good and the acting is so good that you don't really care. You're still gonna watch it and you're still gonna have a good time. So when it comes to like the reason, I guess, for this, I would absolutely say that The Woman King is a powerful, action-packed drama, and it boasts fantastic performances from the entire cast. I mean, the acting is definitely something that you're gonna hear award talk for somewhere down the line. And the film is definitely going to be very entertaining for audiences, given the fact that it has a little bit of something for everybody everywhere, right? Like there's humor, not too much, there's action, there's drama and emotion. It's a very well balanced film. So when it comes to the rating for The Woman King, I think I've got to give it probably a 9 out of 10. Like, this is a very good movie. I mean, this is a must see movie, but I have to address the elephant in the room as well. The Dahomey clan, the whole story is based off of historical facts. But the movie is not historically accurate 100%. The elephant in the room is the fact that you do have the Dahomey tribe or the Dahomey tribe who engaged in the slave Atlantic, trade. In other words, they sold other Africans to European countries. They participated in this. What I will say is that this movie, and this is only one reason why I couldn't give it like a perfect 10, because whenever you have a movie that is based off of historical events and you start to like twist it, but you don't really give the audience enough information for them to realize that what they're seeing on screen is not wholly accurate, I gotta dock you a little bit on that, because unfortunately we live in a world where people watch things in movies and they'll accept that before they read a textbook. So yes, this movie does tackle the issue of slave trading. It does tackle the issue somewhat responsibly, somewhat, because they talk about how problematic it is. And yes, it is true that eventually down the line, the tribe kind of breaks away from that stuff. The issue that I have with this movie is the fact that they try to make the tribe look more progressive than it actually is. They try to put a more modern day mindset on it than actually was the case back then. So what I would encourage people to do is go watch The Woman King, because as a movie, technically, it's done very well. You have great acting, you have great action, you have great directing, you have good writing. It's a good movie. As a historical depiction of history, not so much. Like, this is not something you finna go play in your history classroom and learn something from. Now, this should, like we talked about with Dion earlier, this should inspire people to actually go read up more about it, because some of the stuff that happens, that ain't what really happened in history, and it's important that we make sure that we're not glorifying things that are not exactly true, especially if it's based on history. Now, if this was something like fictional, like Wakanda or whatever, that's different. That's fictional storytelling. But something based off of real history, we do need to, at least, I don't care if it's in the after credit scene or in the beginning, something, you have to have some level of responsibility in telling audiences this is not wholly accurate, or tell your story and then at the end say this is what really happened. Something. So because the movie doesn't really do that, I do kind of have to give it a little bit of a knock. But I would encourage y'all to, if you do plan on going to see it, because I did start noticing on Twitter, people are hashtagging boycott The Woman King. And I understand that, because some people don't want to glorify an African nation, a tribe that was trafficking other Africans. They might have trafficked your own, family that came to America. Who knows? But because if I'm not mistaken, I think they didn't stop like slave trading until like the 1850s. Remember, I told you this takes place in 1823. So it's kind of like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all put a time date on there and everything. Like, what are y'all doing? So anyway, do your own research, but I would recommend actually watching the Woman King. Watch it however you want. If you want to stream it, fine. If you want to go to the theater, fine. I don't personally care. But as a film critic, I'm gonna let you know, I think that the movie is a solid film, even though I do have my issues with the historical depictions that are made. So if you have seen The Woman King, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't seen it yet, but you do plan on it, come on back. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.